Hello everybody, Marcos Villegas being joined here with the trainer of Jeff Horn, Glen Rushton. And Glen, Jeff showed a lot of heart in there against a guy many consider to be pound for pound the best fighter in the world. Yeah. How would you assess his performance in there with Terence, and what went wrong in the fight in your eyes?
Well, as I've said before, what I think went wrong in the fight is Jeff was slightly off his game tonight. He just wasn't quite as fast in as he normally is. He's normally in there quicker. He's a bit more intense when he's normally in there. He normally mixes it up a little bit more. So, yeah, just slightly off his game. It's like he was just a gear short tonight. You know, if he was at full throttle where he normally is, then I felt that we would have got on top of Crawford. I felt we weren't. It was close. A lot of the rounds, they were just close, and there's just a couple of punches here and there, and you go, probably just a Crawford round. Just got it that round again, you know. So there were, you know, I didn't think there was a lot in each round, put it that way. But just the flusher, cleaner shots Terence was landing, and Jeff was slightly off. As I said, slightly wasn't himself tonight, which is a shame.
You mentioned the blister may have been the reason as to why you felt he was slightly off. How did that develop? When did it develop?
It's been developing. When he got here, unfortunately, made a silly mistake. He only brought his fight pair of shoes, so he's a pair of shoes short. His father ran out and bought him a pair of Nike shoes here to wear, because we were worried that if he was to tear his fight shoes, we'd have to have a new pair of shoes to fight him. We didn't want to do that. So, and unfortunately those shoes caused him a lot of blisters, and then we switched shoes. We got someone else who was coming later from Australia to bring another pair over, but the damage was done and he had massive blisters on his feet which were draining, and it did affect the last bit of our preparation. We couldn't push him as hard with his legs, and he was a little slower in tonight. So was it a factor? Don't know. Jeff didn't feel that was a factor tonight, but he said it was a factor in the preparation. We couldn't move much over the last 3-4 days in training. We had to really just virtually stop all movement. So that was a little bit of a worry. Normally he would have run longer. We're a bit concerned about running over here in this hot heat to get him out running. We've just come from a Queensland winter. That probably had a little bit of an effect, that normally he would have run up until, you know, the last week. So I had to stop him running 4 days earlier. They're all little things, but all those little things can add up to being a little bit short getting in, which means the difference between a punch landing and just missing, or landing flush and landing but not flush. Terence didn't do anything I didn't expect him to do. I thought we're still in the fight when it stopped. I wouldn't have stopped the fight if I was a referee. I thought he was still a chance of winning that fight. Robert doesn't know him like I know him, of course, and he can't be expected to. So, you know, unfortunately, that's just the way it ended. But we'd have loved to have seen the fight go the full way. And I think Jeff would have really lifted in the last couple of rounds, and who knows, that might have only takes one hit at the end of the day, but we'll never know now. But as I said, not taking anything away from Terence Crawford, brilliant fighter, and congratulations to him.
What did Jeff tell you in the back about the fight?
In the back, what now?
In the locker room.
He just said he fell off tonight, didn't feel himself. He was sniffling today when I was talking to him. You know, I don't know, but he just said, I just fell off. I just didn't feel myself out there. He says, I felt just, off is the way he put it, and it's just like he was off his game. He was fit enough. He was just a little flat out there, so yeah, wasn't quite himself. Normally he's very broken rhythm, very explosive, and you never know where he's going, which way, and where he's going to hit you, and he normally gets to his opponent quicker than he was getting in tonight. So just wasn't quite himself tonight, and I've got to work out why. That's what I've got to do now as his trainer, is work out why weren't you off, so weren't you 100% on tonight. I think if you would have been at the same level mentally as Fominini Pacquiao, he'd have been right in that fight up to his eyeballs tonight. But unfortunately, as I say, that's the way it panned out tonight. But there wasn't a lot in it round by round. You wouldn't say that Crawford was flogging him. He was just getting the odd point here and there, the odd counter. He wasn't dominating him round by round. You know, there was no 10-8 rounds or anything like that. And we thought that the knockdown, what they called, was more of a slip. He certainly wasn't hurt, but he went to step that way just as he clipped him. So no big deal there at all.
Will he return to America to fight any one of the premier welterweights in this division? I know there's a lot of options for him over here in terms of maybe Sean Porter, Errol Spence, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia. The list goes on and on. Yeah. Would you like to see that?
Yeah, we're happy to fight anyone. And Jeff, certainly, we've always wanted the big fights, and we're certainly, I think we showed there tonight that Jeff's up there with all of them. You know, there's if Crawford can't dominate him and he can only just claw through and get the odd point here and there, then I think he's up there with any of them, because personally I think Crawford beats all of those guys that you've just mentioned, and quite comfortably, by the way. So, no, I think he's shown he's up there with the best in the world, even when he's not 100% on his game. So you bring him back here right on his game, plus the lessons he's learnt tonight. You know, he's going to knuckle down, train twice as hard for the next fight, and you're going to see a much more explosive Jeff Horn next time he steps out. And I think that's good enough to beat any of the guys that you've mentioned.
All right, Glenn, thank you so much. I certainly appreciate it. Glen Rushton was in the corner here tonight at the MGM Grand. This is Marcos Villegas for Fight Up TV, signing off.